Hello Cancer, welcome to your August reading. I'd like to apologise for not producing a July video. I had quite a busy month starting a full-time job, and so you might notice, excuse me, you might notice that the layout of these future readings has changed in order to make them slightly shorter because I have less time. So let's get straight into your reading, Cancer. You'll also notice that I'm speeding up the aspects of the reading that I'm shuffling in, so it's just to make it less tedious. Here we go. Okay, Cancer, I have some interesting cards here for you. I kind of feel that it's picking up from the last reading, strangely. As I was shuffling for you, 4 of the cards that were in your last reading came out in kind of a spread. And I kind of continued shuffling because I knew that that was the backstory. So let's have a look at where we are now and going forward into August. We have the Hermit card. Now the Hermit is quite interesting given your previous June reading, because it shows that there's been some introspection. You've had to withdraw. You've had to go inwards and have a look at your processes and have a look at the patterns in your life perhaps, and have a look at what's not working and have a look at what is working. While you're in that space within, I hope that there has been quiet times quiet enough for you to hear yourself, if I can put it that way, your higher self. You'll be getting information very subtly on how to proceed, both in terms of your ways of thinking and your attitudes, and also what you are going to continue with, or what you can continue with and what you can't, where to put your energy, etc. The Hermit is, as well as it being kind of a point of healing, it's also very informative when we take a step back from the noise of the world and kind of listen to what's going on within. All of the information and the wisdom that we require, it can be tapped into within. And so there might have been sort of dreams, there might have been thought patterns that may feel different to you, that don't seem to be rooted in anything that you're particularly thinking at the time. And so there's definitely inspiration coming in here. With regards to August, you're able to shine a little bit of a different light on the pathway ahead, given where you're coming from. Then we have the Four of Swords. The Four of Swords in the traditional deck is interesting because it has one sword with the Knight and the other 3 swords hanging above, which indicates to me that there is introspection, that there is a point focused on you and focused on how you do things and how you process, etc. So, and the other 3 swords is about your experiences and where you've been and what you've learned from the outside. But in this card, it's kind of very much a nurturing imagery, if you like. You feel as though this lady has kind of gone through the war. She has her heartstring here with a few lights on it, so it indicates that she's a bit battered and bruised from several kind of encounters. But she's now in a safe space, and she's able to rest in this space, knowing that she will repair, if you like, that she's well guarded. So I feel as though, Cancer, that this whole process of the inner work in the Hermit has given you an insight and an indication into where your vulnerabilities are, where the chinks in your armor are, if you like, and also helping you to understand that sometimes those chinks or the armor itself is the problem, if you like. That the sore spots or the buttons that we have can trigger certain outcomes, and the armor in itself can prevent certain energies from reaching us. So what are you preventing from reaching you, if you like? What are you defensive against? Is it the joy, or are you projecting out that you're constantly expecting negativity? It's about worthiness, I think, when you go introspectively, and it's also about learning from the mistake of kind of relying on others to fulfill us. Interesting that all of that just came. I don't know who that's for, but it's for somebody out there. So generally, the Four of Swords is about your healing and your introspection and your self-understanding, as well as the Hermit. So it's very strong here in that energy, and you may well have been going through that in July, as I missed the July reading. But the outcome of this, it seems, is the Ten of Pentacles. Now, you notice we have the Kabbalah, the Tree of Life here, and we have these beautiful lights and lanterns, and we have this kind of joyful scene with all of the pentacles around. And for me, this represents like a legacy, a foundation that is put down. The Tree of Life represents growing from our base nature to our divine nature. And so what this says to me is there is value in each step on the path that we make. There is value in every little thing we do to set our foundation. And there is value, even though we don't see it at the time, there is value in the work that we do as individuals to contribute to our family, to our society, etc., etc. This Ten of Pentacles tells me that the foundation that you've been putting down will serve you in the end. You will have the abundance that you are wanting, that you feel that you are missing, because the steps have been made. You have been stringing your lights together, shall we say. You've been creating your legacy, and that legacy will perpetuate, and it will serve you and your family going forward. So I want to draw some clarity cards on this to get some more depth. We have the Two of Swords, the King of Swords, and the Ace of Wands. So the Swords cards, as I say, representing the kind of mental processes, sometimes our emotional thought process. The Two of Swords represents a decision, a choice. And it's a choice that you may well have been avoiding. The lady here has a blindfold on, and there's a new moon up here in the sky, which indicates that a new start is required, or a new insight is required. You notice the lady has the body of water behind her, and to me that indicates an emotion that she's kind of turned her back on. And the decision needs to be made. So for me, it's almost as if in order to remove the blindfold, she needs to dive deep within those waters, within the emotion, and really examine what the two choices entail, and kind of pick it apart quite logically in order to get a better understanding, and then the decision will become clear. And so that with the Hermit tells me that there's definitely some processing going on here for you, and it does have an emotional angle. And then the King of Swords over the Four of Swords. Now, you remember me mentioning that the King in the Four of Swords traditional card, there's the King with one sword pointing at him and the other three swords. So the King of Swords here is he's a king of clarity and wisdom and understanding and very sharp insight. And so this is the healing that you're getting, your understanding that the process has a long game. I think that all of the things that you've been through has given you this deep wisdom and clear sight. And then to tie in with your experiences and the legacy that you've created, we have the Ace of Wands, which gives you this brand new start. It's a seed for growth, the universal gift saying, okay, here, you've completed your lessons, if you like. You've completed the process of understanding the actions that you take and the thinking that you have and what that creates for you. And now we're going to give you a new start to put that into practice, to manifest from that energy instead of perhaps the previous maybe negative energy. I'm going to get an advice card for you now. Well, Cancer, it's pretty clear to me. We have Beyond Illusion. Beyond Illusion talks about kind of removing the scales from your eyes, if you like. There's a definite transformation here, as we've been saying, and it means that you're kind of changing the character. You're changing the essence of who you are, or rather who you portray, or who you are going to be. I'm not quite sure how to describe that in a better way, but essentially, the insight that you have gained transforms you into a creature that has kind of more mobility, more magic, more a depth of understanding. Interesting. Beyond illusion, you have cut through the illusion, you have cut through the ties of the emotion in order to have your clarity and your healing. I'm going to pull you one outcome card now for August. Okay, so you have the Chariot. This is your card, Cancer. This is about bringing two aspects of yourself together to pull in one direction, using the darker aspects of self and learning from them in order to grow and to move forward with kind of no real vulnerability. Being able to face these aspects of yourself kind of removes the trigger, removes the ability for other people to infiltrate, to use that against you, if you like, or for you to use that against you, because you're fully aware of it and you know where it's coming from. And then therefore it doesn't hold this kind of overpower. It doesn't hold power over you, rather. You are able to integrate it into who you are and move towards your dream, your kind of mission, your fate and destiny, if you like, with quite an immense power. I'm going to leave your reading there, Cancer. I hope that resonated with you, and please leave me some comments, and I'll see you next time.